Get your kicks on Route 66. A great old tune, a swing tune, but very commonly found amongst blues. Blues jams, blues gigs, you know, wherever you find blues, you're going to find this song eventually. I'm Red, and I'm here today to help you take a look at the song. I'm in the key of G. There's a background track available for download on TrueFire's blog site for this particular lesson. And a quick rundown of what I was doing in the beginning there, in the rhythm performance. I'm using ninth chords, 6, 9. I mean, I think I see a 6 in there too. But they're ensemble chords. They're short 4-note chords, staying away from the bass notes, leaving that for the bass player. This was done, you know, during the days of you know, no electric bass. If everybody started playing the bass notes, the bass player, you couldn't hear him. So ensemble chords are really cool for certain things like this, like swing. So we've got this G. We've got a C9. Then we go back to the G. And you notice what I did with my pinky on the first string. I'm thinking of it as like a little horn section. 4 notes, 4 instruments, 4 horns, and, you know, the trumpet up on top is doing his little thing. So we've got the G, the C, goes back to a G, goes back to a C9, a diminished chord there. Then we go to a G, and I'm doing a little walk down thing. Then it goes to an A minor. Put that 9 on top for a second there. To a 9, a D9. Now it goes back to the G, and then we've got a 1-6-2-5 turnaround. Now there's a couple of things you can do. A very simple thing is this right here. But if you do that, be careful not to let your bass player see visually what you're doing. If he sees you moving chromatically like that, most likely he's not going to play a 1-6-2-5. He's going to play G, A sharp, A flat, G. So you don't want him to see this so that he doesn't realize that you're moving chromatically, because then he might, and that would lose the 1-6-2-5. If you look at the 1-6-2-5 like this in full chords, you will find that these fingers never left the fretboard. I was using them as guide fingers, and that is evidence. Those notes don't, on the same thing right here, what I showed you at first, the same notes are being played. See, it's the same notes, same chords, but then we add the bass line. Now if you add the bass notes, you can also do this cool little walking bass thing. get the idea. A very cool 1-6-2-5 move. Also point out that I'm hybrid picking. I'm using a pick in my 3 fingers. So I've got the best of both worlds there as far as my picking goes. So that is, you know, a wealth of cool stuff that you can do in the rhythm of this tune. Let's add to that. And let's say, okay, it goes G, C, G. Now when it goes back to the G, if I want, a cool thing I can do is go up to a G9 way up here. That 7-sharp-9 thing right there. So that's a different option. You can use this. You can use this move. Or you can use this one. So there are some very cool different variations that you can piece together and create your own rhythm to this. Okay, now, as far as soloing goes, I'm going to use G minor pentatonic. I'm going to use G major pentatonic. I'm going to use chord tones, passing tones. I may use some arps. I'm going to try to be creative with my right hand. Not just, you know, play straight across a scale in an even. I'm going to jump around on the notes, maybe. I'm going to really be creating the melody in my head and then playing it with my hands. And it's not limited to scales. All of the notes are there, and I'm going to use them when I feel them. And I'm going to try to be a little more rhythmic with my right hand. See what I mean? Rather than just... I'm getting some different stuff happening here with my right hand. Okay, so I'm going to roll the track. Now that I've explained a little what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll the track and play a little bit, and then I'm going to give you a couple of the licks that I've used. But by all means, you know, try to copy all of them if you'd like. Here we go. Okay, so there's, you know, some ideas of how I might go about improvising a solo. That was not pre-planned. That was just something that I felt, I heard in my head, and my brain told my hands what to do. Easy as that. Impulse. It was there was not a lot of thinking going on. There was just impulse. I was hearing it, and my brain was sending a signal to my hand to reproduce what my brain was hearing. I started with an old traditional lick like a Chuck Berry, Gatemouth Brown. You know, if you really want to hear some great swing guitar playing, listen to Clarence Gatemouth Brown. He was one of the greatest swing guitar players ever, in my opinion. Excuse me, my opinion. Anyway, I started with that lick. I'm playing a G, and then I'm sliding with my third finger on the second string to a G. See what I did? I just outlined an A6 chord. There's an A6 chord. I just outlined it. Okay? Additionally, I'm trying to think of some of the licks I was playing. I was up here in the major pentatonic B.B. King box. For the change to the 4, I might use a lick that brings me to the 4, that emphasizes it. Hear how it, or it brings you to the 4. So look for ways to use chord tones to get you through those changes, so that you melodically you're following the changes. And again, you know, you have to understand what you're doing, maybe, but not necessarily. You have to feel it more. You have to hear it in your head. That's the important part. If you hear it strong enough in your head, if that is powerful enough, it will just go straight to your hands, and your hands will do it. Another cool lick. See, in swing, I like to throw some humor. I feel that that's an important factor. So look for little humorous licks, you know. That's a humor lick. Here's another one. See, a haphazard slide and then land on that note, which happens to be in the minor pentatonic. See what I did there? I went whole step, half step. Just, you know, crazy little licks. I used these are traditional licks. Same lick, but up an octave higher. Additionally, you know, you want to think about, or not necessarily think about, feel the changes. Feel the changes. One last little lick, and this is a big-time traditional standard swing lick. And I'm going to give it to you right up here. My first finger on the second string, 12th fret. My pinky is on the 15th fret, a G note on the high E string. Now watch what I do. My first finger is going to move chromatically. And then I'm going to finish it up with this chord. And this is a great ending, okay? That chord right there, what it is, and I'm not going to tell you the name of it because I don't know right off the top of my head. It's some type of a G chord. But what I can tell you is here's a G9. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan played these chords a lot. Individual notes so you can pick them out. And that was strings 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now what I do is I pick my pinky up and I bar my first finger across. Now another way to find that chord, Okay, a quick, easy way to find that chord is play an F position or an F chord form at the 12th fret, which is an E. Now just move these two fingers up 1 fret. The chord is cool because it adds a question mark. One last time, slowly, here's that ending lick move. But by all means, you can use this, in the middle of a song. It doesn't have to be an ending. Little wah-wah pedal on there might be cool, right at the end. Anyway, I'm Red, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And please, by all means, go to TrueFire, get the track, check out my website, stevelasner.com, and check out TrueFire's Guitar Sherpa program. Join my classroom there, and I will see you again soon with another song.